Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gents. What's happening? How is everything? I hope all is well. Today I forgot my tripod. So, what's happening? Here in Bangkok, lots going on. Lots and lots going on. Let me get this set up. I'm using a Starbucks cup as my tripod. There we go. Hopefully that'll be all right. Hopefully everybody can see and hear me all right. It's a lovely day here. Not too much pollution. What is the air quality? 89. It's moderate, so could be better. It is a mostly sunny day, mostly sunny week. The Thai baht is 35.54. It's rebounded nicely. Well, the dollar has rebounded nicely. Just the other day it was 33.7 or something. It's 86 degrees. It is a little warm. High of 95, low of 80. Right now the feel-like temperature is 94 degrees, 73% humidity, winds 11 kilometers to the north, visibility is 21 kilometers. Like I said, you can see a bit of haze, but it's not too bad. So I want to give a shout out today, at least at first. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Pierre. He gave me a good suggestion. On Sunday, I'll be live streaming from the Tattoo Expo, Thailand Tattoo Expo in central Lat Phrao. That should be interesting. We're going to start a little bit later at 9:30, and the reason is because the mall doesn't open there. Central doesn't open, so we'll start a little bit later than usual. But you know. Let me get settled here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Mr. West. Florida. I will be in Florida shortly. In fact, we are almost ready to pull the trigger on our tickets. We will be stopping in Amsterdam. We're breaking up the trip. We'll be stopping in Amsterdam for about 6 days, 6 nights. And we may, I don't know. It's all up to my wife and my kids. I'm letting them take it on this. If they really want to do it, they can do it. But, you know, Amsterdam's quite nice in June. But we may go to Belgium or Germany just for like a night or two. Just to say, you know, so the kids can say, yeah, I've been there. And then from there, we're going to go to... We're going to go there, to fly to New York and then to Miami. And then we'll break up the time in Miami. We're going to go from there to Ecuador and probably stay there for 8 or 9 days, maybe 10, I don't know. It really depends on a few things that I'm waiting on right now, but it should be fun. There's no way that Bangkok is more expensive than Japan unless you want it to be or you allow it to be. Food, the crazy price, that's just nonsense, honestly. Food, crazy prices. Yeah, if you're going to go to the Hilton, it's crazy prices. If you're going to go to a 4 or 5 star hotel, yeah, it's going to be, you know, expensive. But there's no way, I mean, listen, no, I'm not wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not wrong. I've been to Japan many times, well, several times, 4 times. Hey, go hoppin', how you doing? And I can tell you that, you know, since I live here, I know I eat pretty cheaply. If I want to, I can eat very cheaply. So you're living it up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know where you're eating. Maybe you could give some specifics, and then I would know. Well, maybe he is. because he won't be here long. If he is, he'll be gone. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. You've been living in Japan 47 years. And just tell me the restaurants that you went to in Bangkok, please. Could you do that for me? Tell me the restaurants that you went to that are more expensive than Japanese food. If you can do that, then okay, maybe you have some validity. Until then, I'm gonna say you're wrong. Well, you know what? You know what they say? Na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. All restaurants in Thailand are more expensive than in Japan. That's just, come on. Please, it's nonsense. I mean, you can go out to a decent Thai restaurant for under $10. Really. A very good Thai restaurant. You want to go and have some street food or some food at a food court or something like that, you're talking about $2. And I know I've been in Japan, and I can say that in Japan, I did eat relatively cheaply because I knew that the prices could be quite high. And I was there for about 2 weeks. The time I went to Saitama Arena and covered what was it? The Pride Fighting. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Final Conflict or something. I don't remember. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, some people are just stupid trolls. That's all. Although I thought I saw his name before and he hadn't trolled me, so that's why I was like, oh, well, Anyway, doesn't matter. Goodbye. Goodbye, mister. See you later. Now, today we're going to talk about a few things, but one of the things we're going to talk about is living, working, and traveling in Thailand, which I'm just going to give you some basics, because while we may have a lot of guys in the stream who know about Thailand and they've got everything wired, there's still a lot of people out there that don't. There's a lot of newbies out there. They come here and they're like, it's so expensive for the food here. I stopped in Japan and got a bowl of noodles for $3. Thailand was 10. So I figure it's something that people need to know. But before I go on about that, hey Jim, how you doing? There's a couple other things I wanted to... Listen, I've been taking the Grab motorbike around and the Bolt motorbike. I haven't been taking in-driver much, but I've been doing quite a few things. And I will continue to do quite a few things in the next week or so. Lots going on here. I'm meeting up with Dowlo and Mr. Andy, who I believe is still in Cambodia and will be back on Thursday, but we're meeting up on Friday. I don't know if I'm going to stream that or if the timing's right or whatever, but and then on Sunday I'm going to the Tattoo Expo, which should be interesting. At the very least, it'll be interesting. And then, like I said, I got these trips coming up, so there'll be streaming, there'll be video from all these places. And I'm really looking forward to Ecuador. I'm also looking forward to going back to Amsterdam, but I am looking forward to Ecuador because Bo is now on board. She's like, yeah, I want to see what the place is like, and I want to see, could we actually live there? She's actually on board with it, so that's a good thing. Now, a lot of people have been asking about the 45-day visa-free visit and if it's going to be extended through the end of the year or whatever. And, there's a couple of outlets, news organizations, websites. They're saying that like I'm reading one right now, Thailand to keep 45-day visa-free stays until the end of 2023. No, that's not what they're saying, though. And that's just nonsense. So until you hear it come out from the Thai government, it's nonsense. If it's in the media, it's BS. They haven't passed anything. And honestly, I was thinking about it. I don't know all the laws related to immigration and this kind of thing, where you have given an extra 15 days to people to stay because you want the tourists, you want more money. The longer they stay, the more they spend. But I don't know legally who needs to approve this, and it's my understanding that the way that it works is that it needs to be passed by the government, and it needs to go through the Royal Gazette and be published, and then it will happen. Now, they could do this at the very last minute. However, the problem is that Parliament has been dissolved. This is what I was talking about the other day. The Thai Parliament's been dissolved. They're not going to pass any laws. They're not going to pass the prostitution law. They're not going to pass any weed policies. And it's doubtful that they're going to. I can't see how they would do this, but there are workarounds sometimes. There are ways that maybe they can get past it. I don't know. So maybe it'll happen. And this is the thing, nobody knows yet. So all these websites that you see saying they're going to keep this, they're going to do that, it's all nonsense right now. It's not true. They may be considering extending this 45-day visa exemption. However, some people are saying, please don't do it because it's going to allow more and more Russians to come in. There's too many Russians in Phuket. And, all this, I don't know if that has any bearing on them extending this visa-free this waiver, this stamp. And, I mean, we're coming to the low season here. So if you're in the low season, you're not going to get that many people. Well, you need more people, but that's not the way that Thailand thinks or works. If you have less people, they raise the prices. In America, they lower the prices to get more people to come in. Here, they raise the price to make up for money. You always say a vlogger. I don't care what other vloggers say, John. I really don't care. Okay? Anybody can say anything. I'm telling you, I just read yesterday, day before yesterday, that people were complaining about the numbers of them and how they're going to continue to come in. And some people are saying, oh, well, they're refugees and, all this kind of stuff. I don't know. And maybe the person's right, but I can't imagine they all left at the same time. 100,000 Russians decided to leave now. I just don't see it happening. Now, on the coffee front, Miss Beer is not here. Beer's not here. Must be a day off. I have been having ristrettos lately. Yeah, this is the thing. So, they can, well, I think what it is I don't know, maybe the people in Phuket are a little bit sick of them. And also, some guy from China came in, some government official, I don't remember his title or his name or anything, nor do I really care. But he told the Thai Tourism Authority, oh yeah, plenty of Chinese are going to be coming in. And that's why, honestly, I'm happy to get out of here. I am happy to leave here. Now, by the time I get back here, I'll be happy to get back. And not to, drone on about the SkyTrain and the subway. But just coming down the street on Lot Brow, you can see that the subway continues to make, the SkyTrain, they're continuing to make progress because, as I said the other day, the roads are opening up. They're starting to open the lane up. There's going to be that third lane that'll open up, and they've already poured the Meridian in some sections there. So, we're looking at, what is it? This is, we got April and May. It should be 2 months, sounds about right. They need to do some cleanup. And I took some photos of, for you guys who look at the community tab once in a while, I took some photos from inside the mall the other day, and I gotta put those up. The mall is just, this whole area is a disaster zone. It really is. It's, everywhere you look, there's construction and scaffolding, and I wish they would just get it all done. And it'll be nice, that's the thing. So by the time we come back from our trip, everything should be copacetic. It should be working nicely, and things will be cleaned up and 100%. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, what else did I want to say? Oh, yeah, the mall. It kind of reminds me. The other day I compared it to when I clean up my house or a room in the house. Everything is all over the floor and it's just a disaster. And then slowly but surely I divide everything up, throw some stuff away, put some stuff away, give some stuff away, smash some stuff. And when it comes to the mall, it's kind of like the place is dying, a slow death, slowly but surely. But by October 1st, it should rise up like a phoenix. And I don't know. They say the place is going to be so beautiful when it's finished, and I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. The place has been a good place for me to hang out, a great place for me to get my groceries. But they just do all kinds of stupid stuff. In my opinion, it's stupid. Let's say they put the milk up against the wall in the freezer. They got these wall refrigerators. They put the milk in the back section. You go back 2 days later, the milk's not there. They've got vegetables there. And then you're like, well, where's the milk? And then it's around the corner. And then a week later, they've changed it again. And it's like, listen, just put it somewhere. It's irritating. I know they're trying to fix everything up, but this is Thailand, all right? This is the way they do things, so what are you gonna do? All right, now, the reason that I brought this up here, I remember this question that I got I don't know how long ago it was. Let me see if I can. 7 months ago. This guy writes, I really had to laugh when you said your buddy waited 10 years to prepare his move to Thailand. Why didn't he wait 30 years? Anyway, I think if you don't live under a rock, you can get all the necessary informations easily in a couple of weeks or months, and you can learn how to do things in Thailand. Guess where? In Thailand. Now, in some regards, he's right. However, first of all, when I came over, there was very little information available. Now, he's referring to Jono. Well, it took so long. Well, if he started 10 years before he came over, he's almost been here 4 years now. That would be 14 years ago. 14 years ago, things weren't quite the same. Now, granted, they were better than when I came over. But some people have lives. Some people have houses, they have condos. They're trying to get their financial affairs squared away. I know he was working to make sure that everything was timed properly, which is another thing. And, it's not to say that he's working day in, day out. Oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to figure it out. Jono had experience with Thailand before he came over here. It was just a matter of planning. And I think nowadays, he wasn't coming for it. Wasn't he waiting to? Well, that's the other thing. See, when I came over, I thought I'm coming for a year. I got some money. I'm gonna come over for a year, and then when I come back home, I got some money. I'll start up all over again, and I'll do my thing. I'll start life back over here. But once I came over here, I went, hey man, there's a good chance I could just stay here. Why do I have to go back? And so I just stayed. And then it just worked out. And there's been some hiccups along the road, but all in all, it's worked out pretty well. And I did next to no research. And yes, I figured everything out on the fly. I wouldn't want to do that now. And that's the thing. I wouldn't want to come over here now with the money that I had back then. I wouldn't want to come over here. I wouldn't want to just pick up and leave. Now, if you got plenty of dough, then that's something else. You got a couple $100,000 sitting in the bank, you got money coming in every month, just go, hang out. You can go, you know what, I'll get a hotel for a couple of weeks. I'll look around for an apartment. Okay? Now, I have this guide that I've been working on. It's not meant to be a real comprehensive guide that gets into everything. It's meant to be a basic guide, a beginner's guide to living, working, and traveling in Thailand. And there is a big difference between people who are actually living here, people who are tourists, and people who are just travelers. And I've been saying this for quite some time, but I was saying this the other day, that a lot of these people that they say, oh man, I live here, I've been living here in Thailand, and I'm like, you're living here for how long? 3 months, 4 months. Okay, how long are you gonna be here for, forever? Oh, I don't think so, I don't know, I'm not sure. And then, they end up, they're gone. And so being here short term is much different. Let's say you got $5,000 and you want to be here for 4 months. Easy, you can do it. Not a problem. Quite easy. Now, you want to live that way your whole life? Good for you. You know what they say, salud. More power to you, buddy. Do it. But I would say that, generally, the only people that are living that way are people that have to. It's not that they want to. Like I said, Thais don't want to live off of 10 or 15,000 baht a month. They're not going, I got the greatest life. I have 10,000 baht a month and my life is absolutely fantastic. I'm 60 years old and I've been living this way for the last 50 years. That's not how it works. So let's just get real about that. I do have an intro in this guide. It's going to be a PDF when it's done. And it goes over, the basics of Thailand, but also it goes over about interacting with locals and some things you need to remember, some fundamentals, which are not very difficult. Be polite, show some respect, these kind of things. I'm going to get a little more in depth than this, but I'm not really completed with it yet. Goes into about, when you want to negotiate, it's not a life or death situation. You don't want to make it this, I'm going to beat you no matter what, at all costs, I'm going to beat you out of your 10 baht. That's not what you're after. You don't need to negotiate in this fashion. It's just, it's like with everything Thai, do it with a smile on your face, laugh a little bit, have some fun with it. And, I always follow a couple of rules. If they say well, first of all, the higher the price, the more room there is to negotiate, in all likelihood. Now, some people they're not gonna budge. And if they don't want to budge, okay, then you just go, I don't like the price, I'm out of here. But I operate on the 50% rule. I try to look at the people, and if it's, let's say it's 2,000 baht, no, oh, it's too expensive. My wife would kill me if I spent that kind of money. No, oh, she taught me better than this. Okay, what price? Oh, I'm thinking maybe 1,000 baht. Oh, cannot. You know, this is what they'll say. Cannot. And then maybe, you know, she'll say 1,600, and you go, too much, you know. I'll give you 1,200. 15, final price. Okay. Now you got them down 25%, right? It's better than nothing. Hey, thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate that. Choke D. I've already had 2 of these ristrettos. I did not have my bulletproof coffee this morning. They're the same price as a doppio. They just push a different button. That's all they got to do. So it's pretty good. But you know, it's less water, and it's a tiny bit more coffee. I think it's 2 or 3 grams more coffee, and they use less water. So instead of getting like a double shot, a ristretto would be like a single shot, but it's just as much coffee, so it's much stronger. But they run it for less time, so it works out to where it's not as bitter, which is, you know, fine with me. Anyway, I've been drinking this lately. Now, you know, yeah, you can come over here. It's not really that difficult. And I heard the guy on Nomad Capitalist the other day. I don't know how many days ago this was, but it was about it, moving to another country. And he's like, well, some people, you know, you just buy an airline ticket and you go. Yeah, that's what you do. However, if you're really planning on moving to a place, you've been to Thailand a few times. Even he says, go to a place for 3 months. Now, I don't believe everything the guy says, but you know, he knows a little bit. And even he says, if you're gonna go move to a country, try to go there for at least 3 months. Now, we're going to Ecuador. At this point, do I really think, yes, it's a more finer grind of coffee, yes. Do I really believe we are going to move there? Not right now, no. Maybe once the Social Security kicks in, Bo hits her, there's a certain amount of time she needs to be at her company, and then all of a sudden she gets a bigger chunk, and you know, there's all these kind of things happening. So maybe in 3 years, maybe in 2 years, but the problem here is that if you are an expat and you're not working with a Thai company paying taxes in Thailand, it is very, very difficult to get permanent residency and then become a citizen. And honestly, I don't like that, and I never have. I think that's a bit too much, and I've called up numerous lawyers, and they all go, you gotta work. But I also see that, you know, like if you have a kid, I could have done this years ago. If you got a family, that's good enough. You don't have to be working. But then they say, no, you can't do that. So I don't know what the deal is, but it is much easier in some other areas when you're referring to visas. Some places are much more visa friendly, foreigner friendly, and Ecuador, as I understand it, and again, this will be the first trip that I've taken there, but there are many other places that are as friendly as Thailand or more friendly. And this is one of the problems that some people have, but you know what? It's not all that big of a deal. It takes money. They've shut it down to where, you know, you're not going to be coming every month, and you're going to be coming here for a month, and you're going to do a border run, then come back for a month, and you're going to do a border run and come back for a month. You can be doing that for 20 years. You're not going to be doing that anymore. They're not going to let you. Because they caught on, and they're like, listen, you want to, and you know, I can't remember what was the guy's name? Bernard? He got so pissed. Oh, they're running me out. They're not running you out. You don't follow the rules. You got to follow the rules. And here's the thing. Here in Thailand, and in many other parts of the world, go with the flow, baby. You go with the flow and everything works nicely. Think about something. The motorcycles here, they're going in between cars. They're going in and out. The buses are going along. And you got everybody's doing their thing. And it's like an ant colony. It's exactly what it's like. It's like an ant colony. But if one of the motorcycles or one of the cars just veers over at the wrong time, boom, it screws up everything. It's the same thing here. If you're supposed to show 65,000 baht a month and you can't show it, or you don't show it, you don't want to show it, whatever it is, well then, you know, you tried to buck the system and you didn't go with the flow. And that's, you know, something that is important. You know, but there's a few other things. I mean, like, listen, the elite visa now, back in the day when I first came over here, they didn't have the elite visa. I'm going to Ecuador in June. It'll be in June. They didn't have the elite visa back then. And honestly, I might have waited a little bit longer, saved a little bit more money, and just got an elite visa, and then I wouldn't have had to think about it for 5-10 years. I don't know. I don't think I could have done 20 years even back then when I was making more money. You know, I guess it depends. Prices are rising, and you know. But anyway, they didn't have it back then, so now they have it. They didn't have this digital nomad thing, which is becoming more popular around the world. They didn't have that. You know, now they still have the tourist visa. They have the non-immigrant visas. They have the B, right? You want to do business, you're working. Okay, you get a B visa. I've had that one. I've had the tourist visa. I've had the O visa for marriage. I had the O visa for retirement. I have the M visa for media. And, you know, there are ways to do things, but you just got to follow some of the rules. And sometimes listen, it's like anything with the government, man. It's red tape. It's not that it's so difficult. Listen, even getting my kid's passport was a hassle for me. I had to fill out all the paperwork, make sure they had everything they needed. Do they have their 2 types of ID? Do they have proof of citizenship? Do they have this? Do they have that? You know, and it wasn't all that difficult, but it was a step-by-step process. It's like cooking. It's like chemistry. It's like doing a science project. Step 1, you get the application. Step 2, you know, you fill out their name. Step 3, oh, I need this. Do they have their photos? Are these the right photos? No, they're not. Okay. Step 3B, go get their photos taken. It's the same thing here. It's no different. So don't let that stop you from coming over here. The cost of living, obviously a lot of people want to live here because they believe the cost of living to be very, very low. And what I'll say is if you're living on a very, very low budget, then you're not going to be living like back home, and you're probably not even going to be living like the average Thai who lives off the same amount, because you ain't Thai. Let's just put it that way. You're not Thai. They know. I mean, even me, I've been here a long time. I don't know all the tricks. I don't know all the tricks in the book here. I mean, I know a few here or there. I know how to get out of paying this. I know how to get the lower price for this or that. But, you know, your average sharp Thai, they, you know, and the fact that simple fact that they are a citizen, they're going to have it a little bit easier than you when it comes to getting certain prices and being able to figure things out, and even sometimes they have the problems. But all in all, it's going to be more difficult for someone here who's living off of a low budget, unless all they want to do is spend, you know, their waking hours in their little studio apartment that costs them, you know, 4,000 baht a month, and they're eating street food. They're eating street food every day. And really, that's all they do. They go out, they have their breakfast, maybe they have a cheap coffee, and then they go and have lunch. They read a book. They go swimming at their little apartment's swimming pool. And then in the evening, they have dinner. Maybe they sit there with a buddy and they share, a mug of beer or a pitcher of beer or something. I'm not saying that's a terrible life, but their options are going to be far more limited than people who have a higher budget. And I'm looking at this, what I've got written here, to give some examples of prices. One bedroom apartment in Bangkok can cost between 10 and 30,000 baht a month. Similar apartment in a smaller city may cost 5 to 15,000. Now, I had a studio apartment a while back, and it was 9,000 baht a month. I had another one, and it started out, it was 7,000, then I moved up to a 9,000, then I moved up to, I don't know, it was like 35,000 a month, plus maid charge, plus electricity, plus the phone, because I had an extra phone line, and it worked out to 40 to 50,000 a month, which was way too much. It wasn't worth it. So this is another thing. Now, if you're in Bangkok, there's lots of choices. If you're in some smaller cities, there may not be nearly as many choices for places for you to stay. Another thing is that if you don't speak the language, it may be a little more difficult for you to figure out where to go and what kind of place to stay in. Although, honestly, I think anybody who's a little bit hungry, that'll be $5, Gennaro. Every time you use the word hottie. Oh, wait a minute, it was 10. One of the ways that I found places, before I really had anybody that there was this chick a long time ago when I first came here. She was a good girl, but she was a big time, Isan Thai girl who, her knowledge was limited. We'll put it that way. She found me a place, it was like 3,500 baht a month, and I was like, okay, I guess I can live here. She was a girl who I gave her some money. I told her, get me some stuff to help furnish my apartment, stuff that I need, garbage cans, sheets, cleaning products, little knickknacks or whatever. She came back with like these sheets that had, like little hearts on it and said, I love you, sweetheart. And I was like, oof. I think she brought me one set that was pink and one set that was blue, and anyway, if you're out in a city somewhere, it's too bad Jim's not on right now, but if you're out in the city and you don't want to get a vehicle, not everybody wants to drive, you gotta figure out how to get around. Now in Bangkok, it's very easy. It's really easy here. There's a lot of ways to get around, and I think it's much easier. Yeah, those were something, man. That was before I had a little cell phone, and I would have been taking pictures of it. Carl, long time no see. I had plenty of pink already. They're 2QA. Never. It's not going to happen. Let's see here. How long are you staying in Ecuador? I'm not really sure. I think somewhere between 8 and 10 days, but it could be longer. We got time. My wife's got 6 to 8 weeks of vacation time. My kid's got 2 months off. So I mean, like, this is a for me, this will be the longest journey I've taken in quite some time. I'm the one who said to my wife, listen, if we're in Amsterdam, you can get to Belgium It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. You can take a train. You can get to the border on Germany. In Germany, you can go there. You can go several places. Maybe we should do that. She's like, yeah, I want to do that. In fact, I want to go to Germany. Germany was beautiful. What I saw of it was beautiful. I'm like, well, you better be sure what you want to do. So some of it will be, winging it. We'll be freestyling, and some of it we won't be. Let me read some of these here. You ever think about setting up the same kind of business you had in the state, a printing brokerage? No, never. I'm not going to do that. And even if my wife was to set up some kind of restaurant or something, whether it's here in Thailand or in Ecuador, at the most, what I would do is be a greeter. That's all I'd be sitting there, and I'd be the accountant. Yeah, that's it. I'm at the end. I'm not going to get into something that's going to be grueling and I'm going to be slaving away. I don't want to do that. Still has the Hello Kitty ones. Hello Kitty used to be so, ask you what the fuck you're drinking. Never heard of it. What? Ristretto. It's just it's a espresso, except it's a short espresso. It's a finer grind of coffee. They put the water through more quickly, and you don't get as much water. You get a shorter shot. So it's stronger, which I'm like, okay, let me do that. Now, I'd like to get I'd almost like to get another one, although I don't know that I really need it, but I'm on the phone and I need to use, they don't allow cash payments here. So, how long in Florida? I think the way that we're going to work it, it'll be about 2 weeks, maybe 12 days. It'll be, like 6-7 days, and then we'll go to Ecuador for however how long. Then we'll come back, and we'll spend 4, 5, 7 days. And then we'll go back to Amsterdam. We'll stay there for like 2 days, and then we'll come back to Bangkok. And I still need to go to Cambodia. Lots of things going on. I know you guys don't want to see me. Anyway, listen, I haven't said it today. If you don't mind, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, check down in the description for how you can help support the channel, or just keep watching, whatever, all right? I'm easy now. Now, let me get back to what I was talking about here, which was this whole thing here. One of the things here, staying here, renting a place long term. Now, long term is a year-long lease. You can get shorter time periods. Some places they'll just rent out whenever. But the majority of places, they want people who are going to rent for a year. Like I said, it's possible to get a shorter period of time, but most of the places now, they're just like, we want a year. You got to sign a year-long contract. So that's something to consider. Now, okay, Michael, take it easy. Of course, you're generally not allowed to own land. There are complicated measures you can take to get around this, but you can own a condo or house on leased land, and this is a whole nother setup. You need to make sure you're going through somebody who's legit, reputable, so you don't get ripped off. You need to make sure you got the note on the land or whatever. If like say your wife is buying a place, something else that people, some people, they come here strictly for the healthcare, or when they come here, let's say they're coming here for 6 months or 3 months or whatever, they're just traveling through, or they're a part-timer, they're like a snowbird or whatever. They come here and they get their eyes checked, their teeth worked on, they get a physical, because the price is cheaper here. Now, my buddy was telling me about in Ecuador how, like, for $100 you can get some fantastic health insurance, and he's of my age. So, you're an older person. You can get some great insurance there, and if you want the public insurance, it's next to nothing. But in Thailand, if you really need to go, this is the thing. All the people that you see, or let's say most of the people, you see getting in accidents, and then their insurance doesn't go, they can always go to the government hospitals. Now, they're nowhere near, I would say, they don't have the facilities and that the private hospitals have. But if you got to do what you got to do. And one of the things about the private hospitals is you go in and you really don't have to wait very long. I hear about people in the United States waiting for hours and hours to get in, and they have an appointment. And the thing with the public hospitals is you are going to have to go in early. You're going to have to get your number. You're going to be waiting in line, and you're going to wait. You're going to wait hours. In some cases, not always, but you may have to. Also, the private hospitals, some of them are internationally accredited. You get a very high standard of care, and also in Ecuador as well. So that's another thing. And one thing that I don't particularly like here, the only public transportation where they give seniors a discount is the MRT. Now, the MRT is actually on Ramkhameng Road and actually on Lot Prow. So I get a 50% discount. Now, it's not a whole lot of money, but if you're using it on a daily or 3 times a week or something, hey, you're going to save a couple of bucks. You're going to save a couple $100 a year. It's not much, but especially if you're on a budget, it's going to help. But that's the only one. The BTS doesn't give you a discount. The CityLink doesn't give you a discount. Everything's full price. Buses don't give you a discount. In Ecuador, in Ireland, in many other places, they do. So, these are things that some people are considering, and you might want to consider these things. Also, if you're going to work, and I know that some people find it very complicated. Oh my God, do I need a working visa? No, you need a work permit. The job market competition is stiff, and most people, they teach English, or they work as a digital nomad, or they work in the tourism industry or technology. I don't know, I don't believe so, because guess who goes there? Our friend John. I'll have to ask him, but I don't think so, because he told me the prices are not cheap. I think he went to some place for like 2 days and 1 night, well, thank you, Dallo. Dallo, you need to let me know. We should meet early. We should meet early and then go have lunch later. That way, because Andy wants to come. Andy wants to come. So maybe we can meet for a coffee and then go have a lunch. Although I don't know if I'm going to eat. Depends on where we're going, because I only want to eat like, meat and veggies. Yeah, I hope so. Get me to 100. What's going to happen if I'm like, hey, I'm Scott, I'm an American in Guayaquil, Ecuador. You guys still going to follow me? Somehow I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe you will. I'll still talk about Thailand. In fact, I've been meaning to do a video for Rumble Friday. Well, he's near the BTS. Gallo's near the BTS, so I'm going to have to ride the BTS and pay full price, which is, you know, whatever. It's 50 baht. So I got to pay an extra 25. If I was on the MRT, they'd give me a discount. Now, one of the other reasons that people love to come here, I don't think that it's a reason they love to come here, although some people, you know, they're really into food. I think it's a reason that keeps them here. Now, do I look like a geezer? Do I look like a geezer to you, Gennaro? Shut your mouth, man. God. Geezer? I think I'm looking pretty good now. I'm looking pretty damn good now. Believe me. At least that's what my wife says, although she could be lying. You know, with the kind of foods here that they have and the availability of different foods, whether it be Western food or whatever, it's, you know, you want to get something to eat here, you can generally find everything you want. Listen, I made my own kimchi the other day, and it came out fantastic. You're no geezer. I'm not a geezer, and you know, 2Q Asia is not at the geezer point. To me, geezer is like 70 years old. But all these foods they have, you know, tom yum, pad thai, all these classic Thai dishes, the green curry, som tam, fried bananas, all this kind of stuff. It does help that they have good, inexpensive food here. But you know, you think it's inexpensive, but like I look at it and I go, back in my day, you'd get some fried rice with an egg on it for 15, 20 baht. Now it's 50 to 60 baht. You know, you get some pad thai in the old days, 5 baht on a, you know, 5, 10 baht. Now you're lucky if you find the 20 baht thing where they got the whole tray. And they just give you, you know, they give you like a cup full. You know, one of the things too to consider is that I'm getting a haircut today actually, is that the street culture, and by street culture I mean, you know, like the street food and also like down on Sukhumvit where they had all the vendors. This culture is slowly decreasing in size. And I think, well, while the Thais are a reason that people love Thailand, it's also that there's a blend between the traditional and the modern. However, modern is sort of overtaking the traditional, at least in a place like Bangkok. You go out to the villages, you know. Now, we may go to Suratani. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. But we may go to Suratani. I told my wife, I said, listen, why don't you let me go down to Krabi and check the area out and look for apartments there. You go over to Suratani, then we'll meet up. We'll take the train back. You know, we'll do it that way. We may do that. I don't know. I may be in Krabi in another, what is it? Wow, it's 3 weeks until Songkran. About 3 weeks. You know, there are some fun festivals, and, you know, I try to stay away from the Songkran. But, you know, if I just tell myself, okay, I'm going to go out and I know I'm going to get wet, it's no big deal. You dress accordingly. If you need to, you cover up your phone or whatever. I'm not eating joke. Haven't eaten joke in a long, long time, and I really like it. My wife had some patango the other day, which is the, you know, the doughy fried dough. And I was like, why are you eating that? She's like, oh, I just wanted some so bad. And I was like, okay. And I was like, don't keep it away from me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to eat it. So I'm kind of missing out on some of the Thai food here, but you know, I still eat it once in a while. But now, the big thing about Thailand, the big reason to come here, well, a big reason to stay here is if you don't want to have a car, you don't need one. You want your own personal driver? No problem. You want your driver on call? No problem. You can get one. You want to take the SkyTrain, the subway, the motorbike, the boat, the Songtao? You can get it just about anywhere. You can get a minivan. You want a minivan in Pattaya? Okay. If I want a minivan to take me to Pattaya, I just go down the street from my house. Yeah, well, I need to shave more regularly and I'll stay a little younger, looking a little younger, as well as continue to lose some weight and get more yoked. So the transportation system is something, at least I really appreciate it. I love the fact that they have great transportation here. And the trains are fantastic. And, you know, some of them are a little bit older and run down, but they are working on that. And then, you know, you want to get around, you want to fly around, you can do that as well. I think AirAsia still, you know, if you want to fly with AirAsia, which I don't, you know, they have this pass where you can get around and you go from here to here to here to here. And you do a certain amount of legs and it's like 5,000 baht. And, you know, that works out for some people if you want to travel around. I'm not one that I feel the need to travel around Thailand all the time anymore. I enjoy being at home. You know, and if I'm down by the beach, I'll enjoy it even more. And clean air, jumping in the ocean every morning, I will enjoy that. There's also tuk-tuks, which we don't talk about much because I don't think the tuk-tuks are something for me that Chiang Mai is about the only place I take tuk-tuks, maybe in Hua Hin, but most of the time I avoid them like the plague. Minivans, like I said, they're a good thing, and they're all over the place. Minivans, buses, you can get them just about any city, even in the villages. So, what are we talking about here? I've got to read some of these messages. Two Aussies, an American in Thailand. Well, Andy can talk about his recent trip to Cambodia. He told me that he really was surprised and impressed by the place. And he went to Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. I'd pay them to get haircuts, but it would be a waste. I'm gonna get a haircut. Usually I do my own. What I do is I know Alex will be home soon, so I shave my head, and then when he comes home, I go, hey, I want you to give me the once over and make sure I don't got any hair sticking out. I need to go completely bald. Map out all the closest toilets. Listen, on the way that I'm eating now, I don't have any of those problems anymore. Yeah, take care of yourself so that you can enjoy what's coming. Although if you're in Thailand, at least you know you can get some good care. Now, if you're in Bangkok and you want to get around, well, we don't talk about it a whole lot, but the Chao Phraya, there's numerous boats that you can take to get around. The Sansap Canal. There's another one, I forget what it is, what it's called. It's down by Bo Bay, and that's an electric one. Then there's the electric one that goes down to Minburi. Hopefully they'll change everything over to electric. I mean, just, if not for any other reason, because of the air pollution. I don't know. Quite frankly, between this is one of the many problems, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I like the Chao Phraya boat. You got the SkyTrain, the subway, you got the monorail. 200 baht's too much. 120 baht. No more than 120, but 100 is fine. And if you're going to one, the guy's saying 200, he's he thinks he's a higher end barber, and that's just not. I mean, there's one in my block. It's still 80 baht, and when I first came here, it was 40 baht. So now it's about 38 pounds, almost 40 pounds I've dropped, and I still have a little around the middle, but I'm happy with how I'm shaping up. I'm exercising and I feel quite a bit more fit. It's about time to get back into boxing gym. Just for exercise. Let's see here. Okay, possible problems. Now, a lot of people have problems with their visas. Oh, they don't give me long enough. And then, listen, the government doesn't give a shit. They don't care about you. They don't care. They don't care what your problem. Either you meet this criteria or you don't. They don't care. And as my buddy said, my buddy who lives in Ecuador, at least part-time, he's got the place in Ecuador that we'll be staying. And, I'm sure I'll be streaming from there, and it should be very interesting. Be right there on the beach. And his place is really nice. He sent me videos. I've done live chats with him. And we're very fortunate. And like I keep saying, if you're in the LA area, you're in the Palm Springs area, go check out his film festival. I think it starts March 31st, and it goes on for something like 7 days or 10 days, something like that. But it's the American Documentary and Animation Film Festival. It's very respected, and they put some really good stuff on at the festivals. And all you got to do is send me a message, send me an email. And if you want to go, I can hook you up with some free passes. So there you go. Anyway, is this Rick, Boxing Rick, or is this another Rick? So some people have the problems, like I said, with the visas, but for the most part, you come up with the money. Okay, Rick. How you doing, man? Rick used to work with Manny Pacquiao a long time ago, back in the day. He's worked with a lot of boxers. Sometimes changing your visa category can be a bit of a pain. Most of the time, I kind of find it pain-free. It's just a matter of taking the steps. That's really what you need to do. Take the steps. That's it. And if you want to know about the steps, go to my website at AmericanInBangkok.com. What a smooth segue that was. Some people find the language barriers to be a problem. Now, one thing that Jono has not done, and many other of my pals that live here. I know one guy, he's been here for a little longer than me, and his Thai is atrocious. He speaks like 4 words of Thai. Tao Rai. He can say Tao Rai. That's bad. Tao Rai. Trong Pai. Go straight. Jotani. Or, Yutini. He can say that. And that's about it. Now, I do believe that you really need to make an effort. And even if you learn to speak some basic Thai, it'll help you out. I think it's important. I think it's very important. And then, of course, I'm always talking about how you deal with confrontation, how you deal with problems, what you need to remember when you're dealing with Thai people. And the very first, really one caveat is just don't get aggressive. Who likes somebody who's getting aggressive? Maybe in some parts of the world it's normal for people to yell and scream and shout. I'm not going to mention any areas because I don't want to. I'm just not going to do it. But you can think for yourself. Maybe some places that's acceptable. It's not acceptable here. Early May and mid-June. Yeah, mid-June I'll be gone. But May I should be here. There's a chance we'll leave at the very end of May. I'm not sure. We can. It's a matter, Alex is just about ready to graduate. In fact, he's got 2 more weeks as an intern. Then he has to submit a report by mid-May. And then that's it. He's done. He graduates. And then once we come back, it's time for him to, start looking for a job and decide what he wants to do, which direction he wants to go. But also with the language, when will you be back in Bangkok? I'm in Bangkok right now. You mean from my trip? Probably around the end of June. Maybe the first week of July, or first couple of days of July, but I don't think it's going to go that long. I don't know. But as I've always said, you need to know about Mai Pen Rai, Jai Yen Yen, Sabai, Sabai. These kind of things are important. And, like it or not, you got to be careful that you don't make someone lose face here. You don't purposely set out to do it. If it happens and it's accidental, generally you can get through it. But if you purposely do it and you don't care, that's why bosses try not to yell at their employees in front of other employees here, because it's not appreciated and it makes the Thais who are getting yelled at hate their boss. Who likes having their boss yell at them? Doesn't matter where it is. One of the other negatives, of course, is the scams. You don't want to fall for the gem scams, the tuk-tuk scams, the jet ski scams, the counterfeit goods scams, ATM skimming, these kind of things. But the pollution, it is significant now. And if you have respiratory problems, I don't know that I would move to Thailand at this juncture. I really don't know. I can't see myself doing it. What is this? Bilio, Chano, Chaco, Scotto. I saw something the other day saying that expats here were people who just wanted to get away from other people. I don't know. I think I saw it in the news. It said like the majority of Americans leave because they're tired of living in America and talking and dealing with other people there. I don't have a problem talking to other Americans or Aussies or Brits, I don't have a problem with that. There's a limit. You ever have people come over your house and they come over and, they never want to go home? They just stay. It's 11 o'clock at night and they won't leave. And you're like falling asleep. I mean, never happens with me. That kind of stuff doesn't happen. But I know people where, they've told me about some instances where things have happened and they basically are like, ugh, I had to kick everybody out, We don't usually entertain all that often, so I don't have that problem, but let me see here. The pollution. Now, listen, we know that air pollution is a big problem. Pollution on the ground is a big problem here as well. Although in this particular little neighborhood, there's not a whole lot of pollution. Isn't it the other way around? Aussies are just Americans with funny accents. I think that's what it is. Y'all come back now. How to hi there, friends and neighbors. But in addition to the garbage on the streets and in some of the canals, I mean, the canals are absolutely disgusting. And how can you be, I don't know, how can you be, I would love to go surfing in Indonesia. I like to go to G-Land. I just would need to make sure I'm in good shape, and then I start out slow. It's been a long time since I surfed. I did surf a long, long time ago when I was about 26, 27, 28. I had a nice surfboard, I had a boogie board, and I was better at boogie boarding. But you know, you don't want to mess around in some of those places in Indonesia. And herein lies another problem for some people. And that is in like places like Phuket. There are a lot of riptides, there are a lot of strong currents, and 4 or 5 people have died in like the last year they drowned. Just the other day, somebody got fished out of the water. So you got to be careful. And but where don't you have to be? I got stung a long time ago, but they weren't the kind that killed you. They were the kind that basically just burned. It was actually me and my wife who jumped in the water, and we were in Kosaboya, Siboya. We're in Kosaboya, and yeah, the wedge is great. I used to live down there. We used to live in Huntington Beach. Me and my buddy lived in Huntington Beach. It was actually 2 of my buddies. We lived in Huntington Beach in a house, and I used to go down to the beach every morning before I'd go to work, and either drop my boogie board off, or I'd just go to work with my boogie board attached to my motorcycle. And then on the weekends I would do the surfing and you know, a little bit, but the wedge is known as being a really hardcore place. We used to hang out at Charlie's Chili, you know, late at night. We'd go there and have some clam chowder. I mean, I love that. I loved that area back at that time. But then I was going out partying a lot, so I was having a lot of fun. I was a single man back then, running and gunning. Anyway, the pollution, like I said, is a bad thing. Whether it's the pollution on the ground, whether it's, and it's not only in Bangkok, it's all over the country. People litter. You know, not everybody, but people do litter enough to where it makes an impact. And of course the air pollution's bad, but the noise pollution. You go into a mall and half the time you hear 2 or 3 different types of music playing at the same time, and you're like, how can I think? And the Thais just drone it out. They just tune it out. I can't tune it out. Listen, I'll be watching, and it just happened last night. I'm watching a movie. Can't remember the name of the movie. I'm watching a movie. I think it was The Accountant with Ben Affleck. I'm watching, you know, I'm like, listen, I just want to sit here and veg on the sofa. I've already eaten. I finished up for the day. Finished everything I need to do. Vegging out on the sofa. I start watching The Accountant, and I'm into it. My wife sits down in the chair next to the sofa. She turns on her phone, starts watching something in Thai, some show on YouTube in Thai. And I'm like, hey. Turn it down, put the headphones on or something. I'm here first, please. Or move, get out of here. Well, that's how it is in the whole city, in the whole country. You go into the mall and they're blaring the loudspeaker. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and some vegetable guy's driving by, you know, with the loudspeaker blaring. You can't even hear what he's saying because the loudspeaker and the speaker is so bad. Anyway. It's good to see Carl back. Carl, if you're still here, you're still listening. He hasn't been in the stream for quite some time. He and I haven't talked for a couple of months. He's been busy doing his thing. It's always good to see somebody come back. I'm wondering about Richard. If anybody's 2Q Asia, if you heard from him, hopefully he's doing well. I sent him a message yesterday, day before yesterday. I try to keep up with, most people, but I can't always. Now, something else you got to think about here is the political instability. And, what's her name? Shinawatra is favored to win this election. I am not somebody who wants to get into politics. I don't want to get deep into the politics here or in America. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of all of it. But this is who is supposed to win. She's favored. And I don't like that. But what do I got to say about it? It's not my choice. The reason I don't like it is because her old man ran out of the country, and now here she is, and she's going to take control of the country? When are these people going to learn? What's my number one gripe? That's a hard question. At the moment, I would have to say it's the pollution. I could say traffic, but, if I live somewhere else, the traffic is not going to be as bad. If I lived in Pattaya, there would be traffic. If I lived in, although they're working on that. If I lived in, Hua Hin, there's going to be traffic. Well, they've got their act together. Most places have got their act together about coffee. Although once in a while I get some big cup of coffee and I'm like, this is not an espresso. A double espresso, it's like I feel like a broken record. A single espresso is 1 ounce of water. A double espresso is 2 ounces of water. A triple espresso is 3 ounces of water. I don't need a big glass that's like an Americano. That's not what I want. I don't want espresso beans and then you make me an Americano. That's not what I want. And I'm very particular about that. And I'll tell you what, one thing that I may do in the next, I'd say, 2 years, I may do something with coffee. Whether it be growing some coffee beans or, I'm sure it's I'd like to take a course, like a barista course, so I can wear the black Starbucks jacket I wouldn't say air pollution, I would just say overall pollution. That's my biggest gripe about Thailand. And construction has to do with pollution as well, because sometimes what they do, they start construction and then, we don't have the funds, and then now the place looks like, it's a mess, and then you're stuck. You got to look at it for years. I'll tell you something, and I've said this a couple of times. I've mentioned this, but over there at Happy Land Market, now this is not a high-end area. This is a blue-collar area. It's never going to be Icon Siam. It's never going to be M. Courtier or anything like that. It's just not. It's not going to be Emporium, Siam Discovery, whatever. But, first of all, that Happy Land Center is not even a blue-collar shopping center. Now, they had a market. I don't know if you guys remember, because maybe some of you remember, but there used to be a lot Happy Land. Not Talat Bangkapi. Bangkapi is the one down the way near Pantip Bangkapi. It's the market that I've walked around every so often when I'm walking down Lat Pral and I'm going towards like Lotus into the mall. But Talat Bangkapi was behind this what's it called? I forget. M Plaza or something like that. Happy Land Center. Now they had a bustling market there. That market was kicking, especially on the weekends. And I used to buy coconuts there for 15 baht each. I'd buy 10 of them and take them home. You know, think about that. 150 baht, you get 10 coconuts. Now they're 35, 40 baht a pop. I mean, this is, 5 years ago. Good evening in Waikiki. Good evening. Yeah, I've eaten up on that in it's like a food court, I guess, up there in Panti Plaza. But I don't go there all that often. Once in a while I find myself in that vicinity, but I don't stop in there, and I don't go there purposely most of the time. But they had this market, this, Bankapi market, and it was the place where we went for our vegetables. And we would get bags of vegetables, coconuts, whatever, fruit, oranges, all kinds of stuff. And then we just walk over to the Songtao, jump on the Songtao, boom. At the time it was 7 baht. And we get home. Now, there is no market there, and they were going to build condos there, but the condos, apparently they didn't have the financing, and then the government wants them to pay. I don't know how exactly it works, but they want them to pay, I don't know if it's a fine or fees or whatever it is. So in order to avoid that, they started planting some kind of flowers and trees and plants. So this whole long, huge lot that they had a nice bustling market, instead of getting everything set up and doing it step by step and getting it built, now that you've got this eyesore. It's not like the place is clean. No, there's garbage all over the ground, and there's plants growing up and shrubs and weeds, and it's just ridiculous, So that is a big, this pollution to my eyes. Now, politically, generally, you're going to be safe here. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, God. Why should I be careful about renting condos in Thailand? Tell me why I need to be careful. You need to be careful renting anywhere, but, there's generally no problems when you rent a condo here. Now, if you're going to buy one, that's a different story. Please tell me, why do I need to be careful about renting condos here? Let me know. You can live in fear or not. I don't live in fear here. If I want to rent a place, I'll rent a place. And like I said, we are going to rent a place. I don't know if it's going to be a condo, apartment, whatever it'll be. We will rent a place when we come back. No big deal. I've rented, between me and my wife, we've rented at least 20 places. Maybe 15, maybe 15. Any travel plans for the future? Yes. Quite a few. And we've been talking about that. I'll be in Cambodia, I would say before August, to go see my buddy. I didn't want to make it that long of a wait, but then I'll also be in Amsterdam in about 2 months. Be in Florida, be in Ecuador, maybe I'll be in Belgium or Germany, I don't know. So yeah, we have some plans, and maybe Suratani, back to Suratani next month. But I won't be going anywhere for at least another 3 weeks or so, 2 weeks or so. I may be in Krabi, I don't know. I may tell my wife, why don't we just go to Krabi for a day or two? Then you can take off and go home and see, see your family and hang out there. Or we can go together, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it would probably be good that she helps me. Look for a place, because she can look in little, she can look in Thai advertisements and stuff like that. It's much easier than me having to read everything. Okay, but that doesn't explain why you need to be careful about renting condos. So tell me that. It's impressive you can speak 13 languages, that's fantastic, but why is it that you need to be careful about renting condos? Because I don't think you really need to be all that careful. I think pretty much it's straightforward. Everybody here in Thailand is not out to rip you off. That's something that, while there are scams that happen, for the most part, they are very limited. There's a limited number of people that get scammed, and especially a limited number who have a problem when they're renting a condo. Now, when you rent a condo, sometimes if you leave the place messy, dirty, well then, they have the option to keep your security deposit. And sometimes some of the people will just try to keep it no matter what. And that can be a bit difficult. But other than that, nothing. So again, I'm going to ask you one more time. It's great you speak 13 languages, but please tell me why you think you're just, listen, you don't know what you're talking about, pal. You don't know what you're talking about, okay? And you know what? Yeah, and here's the thing. Get a taxi and you use a meter. Get a Grab taxi, get a Bolt taxi, get InDriver. Get a taxi off the street that is moving and that is using a meter. Don't negotiate. Oh, no meter, okay? No, you turn the meter on. And if you don't turn the meter on, okay, I will find somebody else. Simple as that. Okay, you're born in Phuket, I'm glad you're born in Phuket, but I think you're full of it. And you know what? I don't believe you. Never have I heard or seen someone, maybe if you buy the place, maybe they raise the rent, but there's no interest, okay? So, goodbye. It's probably the same guys in the beginning. Anyway, like I said, do what you can to avoid damaging the property, whether it's a condo, Airbnb, apartment, townhouse, house, whatever it is. Do what you can to not damage the place. And if you do that, generally, you're not going to have major problems. Now, some of the people renting are not always so reputable, and sometimes they may say, we need to clean because it's very dirty. And you're like, wait a minute, I cleaned it and I spent hours and hours cleaning it. Okay, well, they're probably trying to rip you off. Okay, maybe you need to have them do a walkthrough with you. But I've never had a problem getting my money back from anywhere, whether it's apartment, condo, it hasn't mattered. And I've never, in all the places that I have lived, I've never been charged interest after 6 months. So, sorry. I'm gonna say he was full of it. Okay, let me continue here because so yeah, for me, I would say the biggest complaint I have here, I don't particularly like the fact that if you get married and you've been married for a number of years, that they don't allow you to get residency in a expedient manner. I think that's something that should be, I mean, I have 2 kids, they are Thai Americans. They have American passports and Thai passports. My wife, now she's been, and my kids will be after we take these trips, but she's traveled all over the world now. Her passport's good for America for 10 years. She's still got, I don't know how many more years left on it. She just came back from Spain. No problem getting into Amsterdam. And she'll get another Shenzhen so that when we come back, she can get in there. No problem getting into Ecuador. Very easy. We've been to Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau. We've been all over the place. So, America, China, they haven't been as many places as I have, but that's neither here nor there. I don't let them travel. Now they can go see the world. My kids can go see the world. They can do whatever they want to do. And if she needs to go do stuff or she wants to go places, sometimes I'll go with her, but like some places I don't want to go. I don't particularly want to go back to Vietnam if she's going to be in like Ho Chi Minh, Something else that most people don't think about is the natural disasters here. There are some natural disasters, but all in all, for the most part, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about them. They're not gonna, they should not put you off from moving here, staying here, or whatever. My wife is always like, I don't want to be anywhere where a tsunami can get us. And what can I say? I don't know. Anyway, so these are a few of the things you need to consider. The other thing, like I said, learning the language. And when it comes to healthcare, although the healthcare is good here, I think that it does pay to be able to speak the language. And I've been to numerous hospitals, but I haven't been in a while, and so I forget certain phrases that have to do with medical terminology. And this is something else. And for the most part, the hospitals, if you go to a private hospital, a decent private hospital, they're going to have some people that speak English. They're going to have, the doctors will speak English, but you need to make sure that you can communicate effectively. And sometimes it's a little difficult, and sometimes the way they work here is if you want to do something, they just go, oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. They don't always tell you what you need to do. They kind of ask you, what do you want to do? So one thing that I learned the last time that I was really in is that you should work with the hospital coordinator, the international coordinator. The first thing you should find out if you can, when you have a chance, when you're stable or however, and something you should tell if you're with a loved one, like your wife or something like that. One of the first things you should do is say, if I'm ever in the hospital, just tell them that you need the international coordinator. That would have saved me a lot of hassle the last time. And I've dealt with them in the past, Alex was in the hospital once, and I had to deal with this lady, and she was very good, and she basically straightened everything out for me. The other thing is to make sure that your insurance, if you're going to have insurance here, make sure that your insurance is the kind of insurance that will stand up for you and that will tell the hospital, no, he's not going to pay and then wait for him to be reimbursed. We guarantee this and we will pay. Maybe you have to pay the deductible, but you make it a point to the hospital. So you need to be able to communicate these things effectively. And as I've talked about in the past, one of the things that happened to me was I paid the bill, and then they said, oh no, you didn't pay the bill. And I said, yes, I did. I'm leaving. I paid the bill. I have the proof here. You took the money out of my account. Oh, but we don't see it. I said, listen, I'm leaving. I don't care. You're not gonna call the police and beat you up and take you to jail. It's not gonna, it's not gonna do anything for you. What is this? All the red light areas would be difficult for me. I'm drawn to go-go bars like they have some magnetic force. Well, you need to grow a set of balls. Seriously. Grow a set of balls and understand that you going there is, you're like just going to get your car serviced. That's all you're doing. It's the same kind of a deal. You take your vehicle in, you take it to Jiffy Lube, and they, they handle it, and then you leave. I don't care what the problem is, okay? That's the last I'm gonna say about it. If you got a problem like that, that's your problem. And you'll need to deal with that before you come over here. Or you'll be one of these guys who ends up joining the High Flyers Club. You know. Oh my God, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She's got 14 boyfriends. She's collecting, $1 million baht a month from all these guys, and the guy thinks he's the one. No. She visits him on when it's his turn. That's it. Yeah, get your weasel greased and get on out of the, get on down the road. It's that simple, really. Keep it that way. And the only thing that I say is, like I say, the golden rule is don't get emotionally involved. All I would say is that, if you know the ropes a little bit, then go into it as a business transaction. And don't give all your heart because, eventually, not all of the girls, but a large percentage of them, 99%, are probably going to end up, if you're so madly in love with them, they're going to break your heart, or they're going to do something where you're just in a dysfunctional relationship. It's not going to work. Listen, I've seen them all. I've seen the good ones and the bad ones. And I heard, like I said, our buddy Fred, who comes into the stream once in a while, and he leaves comments every so often. He said, I thought that there was a big difference between regular Thai girls and working girls, as in girls for hire, ladies for hire. He thought, I thought that was a big difference. There's not. Yes, there is, Fred. I hate to tell you, there is. But the problem is, you're an old man. As an old man, who, you look old. I mean it, and listen, we're all there. I mean, I look older. 2Q Asia looks like an old man. And it happens. Once you hit 60, 70 years old, the girls are not looking at you going, hey, wow, he's a hunk. Most of the time, they're not doing that. So what do you think she wants you for? Now, you find a woman who's a little older, and I guess this woman that he found was older. There's no reason why he should go into it with the mentality of, when they start with this, you take care of me, and all this other kind. Come on. We take care of each other, honey. That's how it works. Yeah, they're very conservative, and they're not going to come out right away, going, you must give me money. And I can tell you that there's a couple of people that I talk to every once in a while, and every once in a while I go and see them and stuff. A couple of my buddies who've been here for a while, and I'll see them, and they'll have some chick over, or they'll have some chick walk up to them, and I like basically ignore the chick. I don't even want to talk to her because I know what she's about. Now, I can be cordial, hello, and that's it. I don't want to get into some deep, I don't care what they have to say. What do I care? You got nothing that I care about. You're not interesting. You're a hoe. We know it. You're a hoe. Oh, listen, I hope you provided my buddy with good service. He gave you a fair rate, and you moved on down the road. Both of you just moved on, and that's the end of it. But I don't want to talk to you, Yapty. I don't care. I don't care about mama. I don't care about any of that. Dude, you need to come over here before we start making all kinds of assumptions. They're like any chick. Let me give you I'll give you guys a description of Thai women. When you meet them, I'm talking about the ones who are generally conservative. I'm not talking about your ones who are dancing on a pole, grinding on your crotch after knowing you for a minute and 30 seconds. The conservative ones. Like there's different levels, of course, just like anywhere else in the world. There are some women that just are not into it. But for the most part, they're like little flowers. You find them and they're shut. They need to be opened up a little bit. They need to be lubed up, warmed up. And then the flower blossoms. And then you get the full beauty. And that's what it is. Now, if they're like that with everybody, they're probably not like a good chick to have as your chick. Well, you might have got played by him. I didn't get played by him. There's a little bit different reason, because I was cheap. I didn't want to, I didn't want to hear about all their problems. Oh, it's sad. Yeah, it's too bad. Oh, you can help me? Oh, no, we can't. I'm sorry. But you tell me, money, no problem. I don't care. Don't be scared to say I don't care. Don't be scared to say I don't care. Oh God, I've already told it a million times, dude. Jesus Christ. No offense, I've already told I've told these stories a million times. You're gonna have to watch some videos. I'm not getting into it. Oh, they're gonna give free. They give free samples out. No, it's okay. Kapkamakam. They're little egg sandwiches, and I met my wife many moons ago. 25 years ago. 24, something like that. 24 years ago. She knew someone I knew. She worked in a place that I used to go into, and boom, the rest was history. And it wasn't, I didn't go, oh my God, oh wow. I didn't do that. It wasn't like I saw her and I went, oh my God, I must have her. She must be, oh yes, she will be mine. She will be mine. I didn't know. I was like, I'm not sure. Slowly but surely, And we went out with friends. We went out with her girlfriend. We went out twice with a bunch of people. We went out with her girlfriend. And then that was it. Then we went out alone. It's not, this is the thing. If you want to pay as you go, then you can do so. It's like going to 7-Eleven. You can get whatever you want, pretty much, Go to the grocery. Get what you want. You want a little spicier kimchi? You can get it. You want a bigger pork chop? You can get one. You can get whatever you want. If you want a normal one, You're not going to just walk up and go, oh my God, you're the most beautiful girl. Listen, most guys, and you know, this is how it is. If you're a guy and you act like a man, not like a little baby, not a little giggling fool. You're a man. She'll know it. And if she wants you, she'll let you know. She'll give you the eyes. And then if you hear that, you must take care of me. Get out of here. I can do whatever I want. I must not have to do anything. Nobody said I must. I say I must, not you. You don't tell me what to do. Yeah, if you say so. Anyway, listen. Become a member of the channel. It's very easy. Hit the join button. You can do so for $1.99. Now, what I'm going to do is when I finish up with this this guide, it's going to be like, I don't know, 36 pages, 48 pages, a PDF. And you know, somebody signs up, they get the $3.99 membership. I throw them the PDF. You want to buy it, you can buy it. Whatever. You don't have to get a membership. I'll finish it up in the next week or so. You can become a member on my website. You can get yourself a shirt. You can do whatever. Get yourself a Captain Saberho shirt there, Thailand. Or you can get yourself a Bar Girl Lives Matter. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Right now, it's, let's keep it simple. I don't really want Thailand for chowderheads. Thailand for knuckleheads. Oh, that smells good. You know, that's another thing I forgot to say. The good thing about Thailand is that there are a lot of fabulous smells. The bad thing is that there are a lot of terrible smells. The smells run the gamut. Fortunately, the women tend to take care of themselves. Actually, I'm going to get somebody to format it for me. I'm going to put a cover on it, and I want to do it right. I might put some photos in there. I don't know that I need photos all that much. No, this is not Malin's Memoirs. I've already got that book started, but it's not called Malin's Memoirs. It's called Coke. That's the tentative title. There's a reason why it's called Coke. And no, it's not because I dabble in it now or anything like that. In my younger days. But I'll leave that to when the book is finished. You guys can read it. Anyway. All right, so like I said, if you're still waiting on the no entry visa to be extended, who knows, you may be waiting for another 8 days. On the day before, they'll be, okay. They may wait until next month. You don't know. That's the thing, you never know. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Yeah, the good smells outweigh the bad. One thing, I gotta close out with this because we always close on this topic. But we tend to close on this topic. I gotta take this off. Hang on one second here. Beautiful. Is that I will never go back to using toilet paper and only toilet paper. Ugh. Nasty. It is the nastiest thing. And I can tell you that in Ecuador, at my buddy's place, and at his place back in California, He has outfitted all of his bathrooms with bidets. At the buzzer. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Choke D to you. He's outfitted every bathroom with a bidet. And, you know, the bidet's a little bit different because it has a little sprayer for the vajayjay and also a little sprayer for the bunghole. And he's told me some instances of when women have come over and they've been like, oh, that one is for the, and that one is for, yes, correct, you've got it right. Woo flu is sickness that lasts about 2 weeks. Love is a sickness that lasts about 8 weeks. How to deal with 304's 3-day rule. Well, random commenter, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, at the buzzer, I love it. Yeah, you know, this is the thing. I kind of find it funny that now I see all these guys online that are talking about, you know, like women and how to deal with them and why they're not good ones in America and you know, but a lot of the ones on Instagram are nothing but a bunch of 304s. But you know, the thing here is that no, you know, somebody said the other day, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how you should not take the same girl more than once. Now, that rule is generally don't take them 3 times. However, and don't take don't take another girl from the same bar. 304 is a hoe. Now, what I would say about that is nonsense. Be the man. Be the MFing man. I mean, why should they? What do you like? Really? Oh, I can't take somebody from this place because I already took a girl here. If you go into a place and you really want to go with some chick, then you owe them nothing. They're on the game. You owe nothing. If they start up and they start getting, you know, aggressive or something like that, you call over to mama and you go, hey, take care of this, honey. I'm not playing this. Homie, don't play that. Now, you know, you don't want to purposely hurt somebody, but like, hey, you know, they gotta understand they're playing the game. They're on the game. And one of the rules of the game is that you have the money, you make the rules because you got the gold. And if you go into Joe's pub and you pull some chick out of there, whether she is a working girl, whether she is a server, whether she's a bartender, makes no difference. You go in there, listen, what do you think? You think guys don't make the rounds in some of these places? Of course they do. Where's Patty Bob when you need him? Patty Bob, if you're listening, please confirm. You go into a place, you're the boss. I mean, you don't have to be a Richard about it. I'm saying that because I don't want to swear. I haven't sworn once today. You don't want to be a big Richard, if you know what I mean. You don't want to do that. You don't want to try to hurt somebody. If you go into a place and you go, listen, honey, you know, this ain't a love affair. Okay, it's a business. It's a business deal. Now, I don't know. I mean, if you go into a club, what are you going to do? You went to Climax, you know, the club. You go in there, and you pull some chick out of there. You ain't paying her. You don't give her any money. She goes home with you because she wants to have a good time because you are a young, strapping stud. She wants a little, man meat from you. And you go in 2 days later, and you see her there. Hey, honey, how you doing? Nice to see you. And you walk away. Then later on in the night, she's thinking, wow, maybe this guy will take me home again tonight. He gave me a good stupping. And you're like with another chick. What are you gonna do? You're gonna let the girl tell you can't take this girl home? What kind of nonsense is that? You do what you want. You do not operate out of fear. Be the man. Yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, you're the butterfly, and they're the heliport. You're the helicopter. Whatever. I mean, you know, I've never understood that. Oh, you big butterfly. That is the dumbest thing. Honey, I'm a man. You know, I mean, listen, I'm married now. I don't care about all that, really. I mean, you know, it's nice to see a nice-looking woman. Of course, I can appreciate the curves of a nice-looking woman. I can appreciate beauty of any kind. But even when I was a young guy and I was single, you got to keep your options open. Come on. You know, there were times I was in university. roof. I used to go to Fullerton College. I also went to Mount Sac when I moved. If anybody knows where that is, Mount San Antonio. They got a big track meet there. That's where I ran my 4.5 minute mile, which was the fastest I ever ran it. I had some chick in my, I don't know what class it was, sociology or something, I don't know. I still remember her name, Jill. I liked her, but I didn't know if I could, you know, close the deal, so to speak. And there was another chick I was going out with. I was dating her, and I was, you know, I already had it nailed down, so to speak. Now, when the opportunity presented itself, I was not boyfriend and girlfriend with this girl. Hey, chicks will do it, and they won't even think twice about it. And I can guarantee you, Thai chicks, especially if they're on the game, they're gonna do whatever they want. Yeah, I sprinted. That's all I did was sprint. And I used to run 10K it was 6.6 miles, 41 minutes. But I was able to sprint the mile. I sprinted pretty much from after the first lap for the rest of it. And I was, you know, I mean, it hurt, but I got timed and it was legit. But that was then, and this is now, and you know. The only guys that have told me I can't go back there, I took her one time, now she says I have to see her only. These are guys that want to believe that for their own egos. Listen, what I would say is this. If you start dating a good Thai girl here, and you're really genuinely interested in her, now, whether you have closed the deal with her or not, I would say don't let her find out if you are dating other girls. If she asks you, you know, you just say, I have a lot of friends, I don't have anybody serious, that kind of thing. Because really, it's none of her business. Now, once you close the deal and you say, I want it to be you and me exclusively, then you better be careful. That's a different story. Well, it'll take me a day and a half now. It'd probably take me about 2 hours, actually. But there were these hills in Mount San Antonio. I don't know if they're still there. I mean, you know, I'm sure the hills are still there, but they're probably, they didn't have houses back then that were built in the hills. They had coyotes. But what I used to do is I used to go out and jog those hills because, you know, running hills is really good for you. And I just got to the point where I had been running, and then I used to just, it was like, I don't know, you know, you get high from it, you know. I would love to be able to run. And if I lose more weight, maybe I can jog on like grass or track or something, maybe. I love it. I think it's fun. Once you get in that zone where you get the endorphins going, man, it's great, you know. Same with jumping rope. I don't know if I'll ever be able to jump rope again, but I would like to. And if I drop enough weight, maybe I can. Even the middle-aged women that gave me a massage wanted to know if I was alone and if I stayed in the hotel. Joe, don't make me laugh, man. Yeah, listen, they always want to know, but I'll tell you something, Dowlow. Most of the girls are not stupid. They know if you're an older guy. I mean, you know, it's basically, chances are you got a woman. They know this. So it may take some convincing for them to believe that you don't have one. You know. And I remember there were times when I was like, no, I don't have a girlfriend, and not believe. I no believe you. You know, that kind of stuff. I don't care if you believe me. Don't believe me then. Fine, whatever. You know. And maybe in time they would start to believe you, okay? If they don't, they don't. Oh, well, they're lost. Move on down the road. You know? Next. What are you going to do? $5 miles in 40 or less. That's a pretty good pace, man. You know what? It was. I always, when I was younger, I was never a good sprinter for some reason, but I always had endurance, the long-term endurance, and I used to run even when I was training in Muay Thai back in the States. I wasn't the most fit. I couldn't kick the pads the longest. I didn't have the best kicks or anything like that. There were guys that were far better than me. But when we went out and jogged, I would let them go ahead. I would let them get out ahead of me. And I knew when we would get close to being back to where we were supposed to go. And I would just wait. I would just hang back. And then they would be at the same pace, a steady pace, and then I would just pick up the pace. It was kind of like, if you guys remember that guy, Dave Waddle. I mean, obviously, he's a real runner. He was, the guy with the golf hat. He could run, and he used to do the same thing. He used to hang back, and then he would start kicking. And he would kick and kick and kick, and then he'd just overpass people. And I used to love to do that to the guys training. Before telling her you're being exclusive, remember one mistake, and it's give it to the doc. Yeah, I mean, you know, not every woman is that crazy about it, you know. I mean, you know, back in the day, my wife didn't take too kindly to that kind of talk, we'll say, that kind of action. And now it would be like, you know, it's a grave breach of trust. And that's what it works out to be, you know. I couldn't sprint either. I went over a distance kind of slow rate. You know, I used to do something called the shuttle run. And I held the record in the shuttle run for a long time. I held the record I did 77 sit-ups in 1 minute, but then I was 16 years old. I don't know if I could do 20 in a minute now. Especially if she knows you have money. Foretelling you're being, oh yeah. No, I did, with the pack, yeah, with the pack. The pack makes a difference, for sure. You know, there was a time when I used to work out when I'd have like the ankle things, you know, you'd Velcro and you'd Velcro the ankle weights. But I never would punch with wrist weights because it's not good for it's not so good for your joints, you know. I used to love the distance running because I'd go out in a pair. Honestly, I would go. This was in Walnut, Mount San Antonio College area. I'd be in a pair of shorts, and I was fit then, you know, I wasn't an old man. And I would go out there in a pair of shorts, no shirt, and then the sun was beating down, and I was brown, I was tan, you know, and I'd go out, I'd start out on the streets, and then I'd work over to the hills. And by the time I came back, I was just dripping in sweat. And I did all right. I met a fair number of women running down the street. You know, those were the days. Those were the days when I'd ride around on a motorcycle, no helmet, no shirt, and I'd just go cruising down PCH trying to, you know, get a phone number or get as many phone numbers as I could. That was a long time ago, and you know, I can't say I would do the same thing again if I was that age now and I was single. But I have the same experience. I probably wouldn't do that. I ran a 1500 meter in my early 30s. Oh, wow. It's pretty quick, man. Yes, I used to ruck run all the time. That's why I'm 44, my knees hurt. I still do the mile in 4.5 minutes as long as the AC's on and there's tunes. Yeah, I can do it even faster than that as long as I'm on the back of a motorcycle. You know what I did? There used to be a gym. I don't know if it's still there. My guess is it's not. It was underneath a church in Pomona, California, and Shane Mosley used to train there, and so did a guy. He fought. I don't know if any of you guys know boxing. You know who Boom Boom Mancini was? Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Well, Ray Boom Boom Mancini won his title from this guy named Arturo Frias. And Arturo Frias used to train in the gym that I used to go to, but I was young. I was like 20 years old. I was just, you know, a youngster. And these were like seasoned pros that were in this gym. Mosley wasn't at the time. But I used to go in there and you'd go downstairs underneath the church. And they would close these wooden doors. And it was dark. It was like a basement. And you would just go in there and train. And it was hot, man. You know, and Southern California, it's very, very hot. But man, I was in shape then, but that was 40 years ago, you know. So now I think the key is when you get older, at least this is what my mother tells me, is to be healthy. As long as you're healthy, that's, you know, you might have a little bit of extra body weight, you might, you know, not look like you used to, you might have a little bit less hair. You might be a hairy bastard like the 2Q Asia. But, you know. Well, I've just, you know, I've heard of him, and he's obviously got a good pedigree, and I'm sure he learned a lot from his father. Actually, I know one of the guys who used to be part of the Costa Zook team, you know, I haven't seen much of the guy because I just don't watch all that much boxing. I just don't really. I didn't even watch the fight the other day, UFC fight, the Usman fight. But I heard about Tim Tszyu, and I heard both of them talking smack back to each other. I did read that. I do read fight news once in a while, and I go to some of the boxing sites every once in a while just to see what's going on. But I'm not into it as much as I used to be. If it's a really big fight, or if it's a really good fight between fighters who are not all that well known, then that's fine. I'm looking forward to, Ryan Garcia against Gervonta Davis. I'm looking forward to that one. I think that Ryan Garcia might be a bit tougher than people give him credit for, but I don't know that he has enough to hold off this Gervonta Davis. I remember the chow halls in the Air Force. They were very good. Food was pretty good. Listen, I didn't complain. I wasn't complaining. It wasn't mom's food, but, you know. And I will say this, I am looking forward to going home and tasting some of my mother's home cooking, because she can cook. And my wife is bringing some spices and all kinds of stuff to cook up while we're there. I would say she's probably going to cook in Ecuador. She'll be cooking in the United States for my parents and my sister. So I'm looking forward to that. My wife's a pretty good cook, but she doesn't cook that often, and you know, she's busy. I'm busy. The kids are busy. Most of the time we never eat alone. Eat together. We maybe we have once a week, you know. So anyway, well, let's see here. 1:31. 1:31 on the time. 2 hours and 11 minutes. We've been going for a long time. Now listen, you know, there's this thing now. I don't know if any of you guys know about it. I need to get a link. I need to get some good keto recipes. I mean, I eat pretty much the same thing every day. I eat some kind of a meat, whether it's pork, chicken, fish, beef. I might have some bacon or some sausage. I have kimchi. I have a salad. And I have pretty much as I want of that. And that's it. And then, you know, if I really get hungry later on, I might have some pork rinds, or I'll have a little bit of, you know, a couple little cubes of cheese or something like that. But for the most part, I eat pretty much the same thing all the time. I don't waver and eat desserts whether they're keto or not, just because I have not reached my goal, you know. I got to reach my goal. And then when I get there, then maybe, you know, I'll consider having the occasional sweet, but occasional, you know, like not like once a week or once a day or something like that. Yeah, the problem with avocados here, how are you regularly eating that diet? Very easy. It's not difficult at all. I haven't eaten today, and I'm not going to eat for about another 3 hours. And I'll have that, have a nice big meal. I'm gonna go get myself a big pork chop or a steak, and maybe I'll even splurge and get an avocado. I don't know. I haven't been getting avocados here because I've grown tired of eating the crappy Thai avocados, and the avocados now that come from New Zealand and Australia and some of the other places, they're like $3. And I have eggs. I'll either put a hard-boiled egg into the salad, or I'll make up some chaffles, you know, waffles made with egg, and I'll put some cheese and spices in there. And, well, you got the kimchi and you got the salad. I have a salad, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll air fry some zucchini. I'll put that, and I have tomatoes, and I'll put that with the salad, or I'll put that in an omelet or something like that. And then usually I have a big salad. Now I'm starting to have bigger salads and a little bit less meat. So, and that seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, I don't have tomato sauce because I don't want the sugar. You know, a lot of stuff that you look at, you think it's okay. I mean, even protein bars. You look at some protein bars and you go, my God, there's 15 grams of sugar in this thing. You know, if it's got 2 grams or 4 grams or something like that, okay. But if it's got 15, 20, it's too much. These are not healthy. You know, this stuff is not healthy. And that's the thing. I've known about this for a long time. I just never cared. I just never cared. I was just like, I want to eat it, I'm eating it. And now I'm kind of like, well, you know what? As I get older, I don't want as many problems. I want to be able to enjoy my my old age. So I think it's important to you know, keep moderately healthy. I think that's important. You don't have to go to an extreme, but I think it's good to, you know. And like Alex is very, very healthy the way he eats. And once in a while, you know, like I think, what did my wife buy the other day? She bought some like bubble drink or something. You know what I do miss? I'll tell you what I miss. And I may have my mother make some up for me. I miss two things. I really miss them, in addition to the usual, which is mahi-mahi or dolphin, and conch fritters and key lime pie. I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, cornbread. I miss cornbread, and I miss Pillsbury dough, the biscuits. Like biscuits and gravy, you put some butter in between the biscuits, and all that stuff is like, you know. Listen, now if I eat something like that, I'll put on 2 or 3 kilos like immediately. If I drank a sugary drink, it'd be like, you know, if I drink too much water, and I mean enough water where you can hear it flopping around in my stomach now, you gain weight until you piss it all out, you know. Today I just made cornbread and pinto beans, no meat. Oh, man. Tomorrow grits, bacon, eggs, biscuits. Oh, you bastard. Well, I'm gonna get some bacon today. And this place actually, this bacon here, I just got a message from Mr. Carnival Chronicles. Let me see here let me see if I can bring him up on the. He's sending me some photos. Let me see here. And like I said, I did make my own kimchi. I just need to get all the ingredients, and actually I need a bigger jar because I want to make a huge amount of it. What I made was only 3 servings. It's not enough for me. I need like 2 weeks worth of kimchi. All right, here we go. After eating the kimchi, I refill it to get a second batch. Oh, he's got all this. He's showing me his kimchi. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I need a bigger jug than what he's got. Listen, I've got some of the good bacon here, and it's pretty darn good. A lot of the stuff is the cheap stuff, and it's not good. I don't really want to eat that. And even the sausage, you know, I've been talking to you guys about the sausage that they have here. It's called Gobbler. The brand is called Gobbler. And they have these Texas barbecue, not barbecue, they're Texas style burgers. And they're like $2.50 a burger. They're frozen. And then they have these lamb burgers, and they're a little bit more expensive. They're like 50 cents more expensive. They have those, but they have sausage, and they have all kinds of sausages. And they are so good. And they're very filling, and they're not all that salty. But the problem now, like I said, they're maneuvering things around, they're switching things from here to there. I can't find them anymore. They don't have them. They're out. And that's another problem with the mall, at least the grocery store at the mall, is that they will have things in stock, and then, you know, like 3 days later, they're completely out of stock, and they won't get any more for like a month. I was talking about Pop-Tarts the other day, and how I wish they had some more Pop-Tarts. I'd give them to my kids because they used to eat them as when they were younger. I can't find them anymore. So, get some good bacon when you're back in Florida, and you'll remember. Listen, I used to get bacon. My buddy was from Nebraska, and he used to have bacon and all kinds of stuff sent to us, and we eat it up. And his bacon was the bomb. I just remember that. I still remember that bacon, and that was 40 years ago. So yeah, you're probably right. I'll probably notice the big difference in bacon. And I can't remember the name of that restaurant that I went to with this boxing guy that I met. He used to be a trainer. Well, he still is a trainer and manager of this guy who actually fought Michael Carbajal. His name was Mauricio Pastrana, and he was a Colombian guy who had he won the title from Michael Carbajal. He knocked him out. He ended up losing a lot of his last fights, but he was a very good fighter, and I met him in Guyana. And then he was in Florida when I was there, and then we went out to some, I can't remember was it the Waffle House? Maybe we went out to, we went out and had a nice breakfast. I miss those. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep it in check, but I'm gonna make sure I have some fun and enjoy myself a little bit when I'm there. So anyway, let's hope for the sake of some people. I don't really care. I hate to say that I don't care, but I don't really care whether or not this extension is made, this 45-day visa, no visa entry instead of 30 days. If they extend it to the end of the year, extend it to the middle of the year, I don't really care. But I do care for you guys, for some of you guys who, it's important. I do care in that regard, but I don't really care for myself. I couldn't care less, to be honest. Yeah, that's one thing I do miss is really, really good barbecue. I don't remember, didn't you, 2Q Asia, didn't you, I guarantee you Byford has sausage. She's probably very happy with the sausage she's getting. 2Q Asia, don't you remember, wasn't there a place that used to sell like boar meat and, like deer meat, like venison and all kinds of stuff like that? There used to be a place that used to sell it, and I don't remember the name of it. I'm sure I could probably find it if I really look for it, but I've been meaning to look for one of these places. Oh God. Listen, on that note, I want to make sure that you guys know when we go abroad, we're going to try to bring with us the portable bum gun. We're going to try to bring one with us. Although I don't need one. I'm good. I don't have a problem. I can control my timing and everything like that. I just go, use the TP, and boom, it's time to take a shower. I don't need the portable bum gun. Now, something that I don't know if any of you guys know, but like some of these airlines, they've gotten very crafty with their pricing. You want to go on an airline, you can get a ticket. Let's say that you can get the ticket for $725, but then you go to look and you go, wow, that's what I say, $725. That's $200 cheaper than the other ticket. Why? Wow. Well, that's a great deal. Then you go and you look and you go, oh, you're only allowed one carry-on. If you want to check in a bag, you're going to have to pay, and it's like $75 a bag. So we're probably going to get the cheaper tickets, especially if it's Delta, because I get the miles, and I've got a lot of miles on Delta and also on Thai Airways. And then what we'll do is we'll just have two check-in bags. So that's $150. So it works out to like, what is that, $37.50 per person. So the price of a ticket doesn't go up all that much, and we just stuff everything in two big bags. That way we save. Or we just buy the bags there, buy some duffel bag or something that we can lock up. Don't put anything expensive in there, and we do it that way. I don't know. But they're pretty crafty now. Elephant ears. You guys are disgusting. Anyway, on this note, I think it's time to go. Thank you very much for joining me today. โชคดีแล้วเจอกันใหม่ was it? There was something else, another way. I forgot how to say it now. I have to look it up. I don't remember what it is. Y'all come back now. Thank you for joining me. Remember to click that thumbs up. We had quite a few people watching today, so hit that thumbs up, please. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Consider becoming a member of this channel. Also, visit my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. Pick up one of my books. Use the Cash App. Use the what is it, TransferWise. Listen, TransferWise is a godsend. I'm going to do something about money transferring, ways to transfer money to and from Thailand. I got to do a video about that. Just a short, quick video. But man, TransferWise is the bomb. It really helps a lot. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not going to make any money from it or anything like that. But, you know, what ass kissing? I'm not kissing anybody's ass. And I don't kiss the wife's ass. I'm nice to her, and, you know, why not? I'm nice to you guys, and why not? Anyway, thank you. That is all. I will see you soon. Maybe I'll see you with Mr. Dowlow and Mr. Andy. Yeah, maybe I'll see you then. And then after that, I'll see you on Sunday at the Tattoo Expo. I'm sure there's all kinds of lovely tattooed women at the Tattoo Expo that you guys might want to see. You know, you might want to see their tattoos. So, join me. Anyway, thank you. And I will talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Let me do the little thing here. Boom, there we go. All right, gotta go.